This is ABC 7 News at 6.
At least 2 people are dead and several injured following a school shooting at a Christian school in Madison, Wisconsin. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Dagnall.
And I'm Beth Jones. Madison police say the suspected shooter was found dead inside the school. Those who were injured are being treated at local hospitals. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest.
Police and other emergency responders rushing to a school in Madison, Wisconsin, where police say a shooter opened fire.
Today is a sad, sad day, not only for Madison, but for our entire country.
It happened just before 11 a.m. local time at Abundant Life Christian School.
911 for Engine 5 and Medic 5 for a shooter.
Calls came into 911 of an active shooter. The police chief says officers found multiple people with gunshot wounds and worked to secure the scene.
The last time we trained on this as commanders was approximately 2 weeks ago. The protocols are simple. Stop the killing, stop the dying, find out who's doing this. And the officers did that.
Madison police say they found the suspected shooter, a juvenile, dead inside the school. Police believe the shooter was a student at the school. Police rushed the wounded to the hospital.
I'm feeling a little dismayed now. I'm so close to Christmas. Every child, every person in that building is a victim and will be a victim forever. These types of trauma don't just go away.
Parents running into a reunification site to get a hold of their children. The police chief says the school threat is now clear. Police are just beginning their investigation to pinpoint a motive for the shooting and how it happened. According to the Gun Violence Archive, this is the 112th school shooting in this country so far this year. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
On Friday, police say a Holden man was arrested while out on post-conviction bail, pending an appeal for a hit-and-run drunk driving case.
Multiple law enforcement agencies have expressed frustration over this growing trend of repeat offenders violating bail conditions. Our Grace Blanchard joins us now live in studio with more. Grace.
Thank you, Beth and Devin. In October, 52-year-old David McKenzie was sentenced to 15 months in prison for a hit-and-run drunk driving crash that severely injured an elderly man. Holden police say when they arrested him on Friday for allegedly operating with a suspended license, they were surprised to learn he has not served any time in prison after being granted post-conviction bail. They say incidents like this are becoming a concerning trend.
It's very frustrating to us when you have somebody that's been convicted, looks like they're supposed to be in jail, and here we are dealing with them again.
David McKenzie pled not guilty on Monday to operating after suspension and violating conditions of release. The judge ordered he be held without bail pending a hearing in January. According to Holden police, this is the second individual in the past couple months they have arrested who had recently been sentenced but was not in prison.
The people that are getting convicted aren't understanding the seriousness of these charges, and they're just flaunting it.
According to District Attorney Chris Almy, courts generally defer to letting people out on bail due to overcrowding in jails and current lawyer shortages.
Judges are reluctant to hold people in jail if they do not have a lawyer. There is a lawyer shortage. If we don't fix that lawyer shortage, more and more of these people will be released.
Local police say it adds more pressures on their shoulders and fears in the communities.
In many cases, it puts the public at risk if you're especially if you're doing something dangerous, assault to others. It can be a whole wide range of things.
Holden police encourage people who share their frustrations to express them to state officials.
Let your voices be heard. There are state representatives and senators, and don't be afraid to reach out and contact them because we don't have all the answers.
In Holden, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news tonight, multiple accidents caused major delays on area roadways today. Just before 7:30 this morning, state police responded to a multi-vehicle accident on Interstate 395 over the Penobscot River. A Toyota Tacoma lost control due to icy conditions, crashed, and was facing the wrong way, blocking traffic. The westbound lanes of the bridge were shut down as crews worked to clear the scene, forcing traffic to detour onto South Main Street in Brewer. Over the next few minutes, the icy conditions caused 3 more crashes in the area. In total, 10 vehicles were involved. One woman was transported to a local hospital with complaints of pain due to airbag deployment. And while troopers were on scene, several vehicles illegally crossed from I-395 westbound to I-395 eastbound, and the illegal use of the crossover forced eastbound traffic to slow abruptly and caused a two-vehicle crash on the eastbound side. There were no injuries in that crash, but eastbound traffic was restricted to one lane.
4 children reported missing in Ellsworth on Sunday are safe after being rescued. According to the Maine Warden Service and Ellsworth first responders, the children were reported missing from a group home in Ellsworth just before noon. Sergeant Alan Gillis with the Maine Warden Service tells us wardens responded with an aircraft and canine unit. Other first responders were also on scene, including the Ellsworth Fire Department. The children were located on Graham Lake. 2 of the children reportedly fell through the ice, but were able to get out on their own. Gillis says another one of the children went through the ice 3/4 of a mile from land and had to be rescued by members of the Ellsworth Fire Department. Gillis says 3 of the children were taken to the hospital. All are expected to be okay.
Well, switching gears now, sports betting in Maine has been legal for a little over a year now. And according to regulators, the revenues have been right where they were predicted to be prior to legalization. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard spoke with the director of Maine's Gambling Control Unit and has more.
I think it was a smooth opening. We haven't had a lot of complaints.
Milton Champion is the director of Maine's Gambling Control Unit, an arm of the Maine Department of Public Safety, and charged with enforcing regulations related to gambling in the state. Sports betting in Maine has been live since early November of last year and have produced around $6 million in state revenue this year, which Champion says is right in the ballpark of what they predicted before the launch. He adds it's not a constant flow like in casinos.
Our 2 busiest times of the year now is the NFL season and, of course, March Madness with college basketball.
Champion says he expects those numbers to stay around the same each year and adds the rise in sports betting hasn't affected casinos' revenue either.
But honestly, I don't see it having any real significant increase. Maine has 1.3 population. Sports wagering folks will not go to a casino. They could care less about sitting and pushing a button on a slot machine. And that's no different than a table game person will not go and play a slot machine either. They want to play table games. So I don't see any real, transitional change.
When it comes to enforcing regulations, Champion says most of the time the operators are doing the right thing and obeying the rules, which his team verifies.
I mean, we typically monitor the apps. We monitor what wagers they're presenting to the public and all that sort of thing. So, every once in a while we get a complaint and it ends up being a real issue with the operator. So they're nice to get those. So the consumers will let us know if they spot something as well. So
if you have any questions regarding sports betting in Maine, Champion says to contact the Gambling Control Unit. In Augusta, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Nearly $1 million is being awarded to 5 businesses in Maine. It's part of a USDA program to build resilience in Maine's food system, diversified agricultural markets, and create new revenue streams. Included in the projects are the Bouchard Family Farm in Fort Kent, Maine Grains in Skowhegan, and Maine Coast Sea Vegetables in Hancock.
Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center is helping to tackle the issue of food insecurity here in Maine. During the month of November, employees held a food drive to fill the shelves of the community cupboard. The food pantry is located at the State Street campus.
We no sooner stock the shelves and it flies off the shelves, which just goes to show how big the need is in our community right now.
Coventry says in the past the employees have collected about 2,000 pounds of food, which only lasted a couple of months. This year they challenged themselves to do more and collected 7,300 pounds of food. The community cupboard is open to patients, their families, visitors, and staff.
Well, it was another beautiful day out there today. Clear skies, a few clouds here and there, but it's definitely colder out there. I know later in the day it started to warm up a bit, though.
It definitely did. It was a really nice afternoon to be outside if you had the opportunity, which we hope that you did. Let's get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you very much, Beth and Devin. Our first weather today is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, so out there right now, we had highs right around the low 40s for today, and skies are looking pretty clear, but we have some increasing cloud cover coming in, and that's the system we got that's going to be bringing us some rain very late tonight into tomorrow morning, and we're going to see some good rainfall with that. Winds out there right now, right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're seeing 8 here in town, but they're going to pick up going into tonight. By Bar Harbor, we can see some wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour, especially by those morning hours. So here's a look at what we got coming in tonight. Right around 3 a.m. is when that rain is first going to start trickling in, and then temperatures are going to rise throughout tonight as well. Very heavy rainfall we'll see right around 6:30 in the morning, but that will be making its way out of the area. Looks like right around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and will be dry then. All right, so taking a look at tonight, though, we're going to have our low hit just a little bit after sunset, and then those temperatures are going to be rising back into those low 40s, and that rain is going to start to make its way in right around 2 to 3 a.m. Beth and Devin?
Thank you, Chase. Coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Doug Banks joins us live in studio to break down the latest crime statistics in Maine.
Stay with us.
Now you can get a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Lease a Hyundai Elantra SEL for $159 a month or get 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
'Twas the week before Christmas. Seems the big national stores had quit. Their shelves kind of empty, as if to say, sorry, that's it. But Rennie's keeps pushing and filling their shelves with candy, food, toys, clothing, and everything else. Don't make the big box mistake or keep shopping online. Be safe and satisfied in this, the final stretch. It's Rennie's time.
Maine's largest network of parts has holiday deals for everyone. Whether you know what you want or just need a little help, Coastal Auto Parts has everything you need to find the perfect gift. From Black Friday through December 16th, save on deals for the entire family. Purchase an M18 battery 2-pack and get one of 4 Milwaukee items for free. And keep warm and in style with Milwaukee's heated gear for any occasion. Don't forget to team up with a Maine family that cares and keep Maine vets warm when you purchase a Maine Veterans Project logo at any of their 30 locations.
Blippi is ready to rock and wants you to be part of the fun. With Blippi, join the band tour. I'm an excavator. Featuring a live band on stage. Get ready to learn about rhythm, music, and instruments. April 30th, Cross Insurance Center. Tickets are on sale now at crossinsurancecenter.com. Grab your instruments, turn on your microphone, and move those feet. Blippi, join the band tour.
Now you can get a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Make your next getaway your best one yet. Lease an all-wheel drive Santa Fe SE for $269 a month or get 0% APR plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry in.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays from ABC 7.
Welcome back. The Department of Public Safety has just released a report detailing crime statistics in Maine for the year 2023.
Well, that report actually shows a decreasing trend in crime rates across multiple categories. Our Doug Banks joins us now live in studio with an in-depth look at that report. Doug.
Good evening, Beth and Devin. This 2023 Crime in Maine report is the third publication of its kind from the Department of Public Safety. Using incident-based reporting, the publication examined trends in crime across multiple categories between the years 2021 and 2023. First, a crime per 1,000 population. The report shows the overall crime rate trend decreasing 3 points over the last 3 years. The publication says a total of 43,377 crimes were reported statewide in 2023. Next, crimes against persons decreased between 2021 and 2023. In 2023, the report shows 9.14 crimes against persons per 1,000 population. Next, crimes against property stayed above 19 per 1,000 in 2021 and 2022. However, in 2023, showed a 2-point decrease. This was also the highest number of reported crimes across the separate categories in the report. Next, crimes against society is the only one of these 5 categories to see an increase between 2022 and 2023, but 2023's total is still lower than 2021. Lastly, the Department of Public Safety reported a decreasing rate of violent crimes between 2021 and 2023. Now, the department's The department's Crime in Maine 2023 report is available for the public. Any link to the report can be found later tonight on our website. Live in studio, I'm Doug Banks for ABC 7 News at 6. Beth and Devin.
Thank you, Doug. Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, our Jody Hersey went to Etna to highlight a vintage apparel business.
And in sports, one Brewer track star is running all the way to the Division I level once she graduates. We'll have that story after the break.
If you're a licensed technician and ready to get back to work or make the switch to a rewarding career, then look no further, because Ray Plumbing and Heating is hiring and ready to add you to their family today. For more information, visit rayplumbing.com.
It's that time of year again to get the Honda of your dreams during Happy Honda Days, where you'll find great offers on a sporty new Civic, spirited Accord, fun to drive HRV, and versatile CRV. So don't wait, turn your holiday dreams into reality with a new Honda named KBB.com's best value brand. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
What's happening at the Penobscot Ice Arena?
Youth hockey leagues. Public skating. Stick and puck. Birthday party.
Adult hockey leagues.
Frozen Friday laser light skate.
Lace up your skates today at Penobscot Ice Arena in Brewer. For more info, visit penobscoticearena.org.
The most important thing is family. AAA shares the same family values. For over 100 years, AAA has been providing legendary service and has helped what it values most, its members. Join our family, and you could save on your auto insurance policy with our competitive pricing. Just like family, we offer you our support when you need it, whether it's questions about your policy or with our most trusted roadside assistance service. Visit AAA.com/insurance and find out how much you could save.
If you're a licensed technician and ready to get back to work or make the switch to a rewarding career, then look no further, because Ray Plumbing and Heating is hiring and ready to add you to their family today. For more information, visit rayplumbing.com.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some track and field here. The indoor track season getting into full swing with the first big meet this past weekend at the University of Maine. And for one Brewer Witches track star, she's heading into this season knowing there are 4 more years to come. Brewers' Lauren Venetestein recently signing her national letter of intent to run track at the Division I level with Sacred Heart University. She runs sprints and relays and also competes in the triple jump and the long jump. On Saturday, she placed first in the 55-meter dash and first in the long jump. Lauren didn't pick up running track until she got to high school her freshman year, but once she did, it was a labor of love, and that's what she says got her to the next level.
Track was just different. It was a different type of love, and it was a different type of I just love the commitment and the seeing the results, putting in the work, and then having it come out at the end of the week. It's the best feeling in the world. I always told myself, I was like, you're doing it for the next level. Like, if somebody's gonna do it, you're gonna do it more. You're gonna practice even more. You're gonna put in even more hours because you wanna go. Like, it was my motivation, and it just drove me even further.
In terms of what is bringing her all the way down to Fairfield, Connecticut, Venetestein says she visited Sacred Heart before any other school and knew it was the place to be, especially after she met the team this fall, too.
So it was the first school I visited, and I was like, I don't need to see any other ones. Like, this is it. It checked all my boxes, and I was like, the only thing that I didn't get to experience over the summer was the team. And so that's when I went back down the fall to meet the girls, and as soon as I met the girls, I was like, yep, that's all the boxes. Everything's great. I love it here.
Congratulations to her, wishing her the best of luck. Let's go to some soccer now. A national champion will be crowned in NCAA Division I men's soccer tonight in Cary, North Carolina, and 2 Mainers have the chance to capture the title with their squad. The University of Vermont takes on 13th-ranked Marshall at 8 p.m. tonight, and suiting up for the Catamounts are Connor Thompson and Max Murray, both from Kennebunk High School, both former teammates for Seacoast United. The Catamounts scored a thrilling semifinal victory this past weekend over Denver, with the game tied at 1 after 2 overtimes it was on to penalty kicks. As you just saw, the game-winning goal came off the foot of Maine's own Max Murray, and he says it would mean it all to cap off this incredible run with a win in their final game.
This season alone, just being with the guys and just really, really enjoying what we're doing on and off the field. I think this is the closest team I've been on, and for all 28 guys, I feel like we all know each other really well, and the whole process and the journey that we've been on this year has been the best so far.
All right, wishing them luck. That game is at 8 on ESPN2, and that is all the time we have for sports. Here's Chase Ropenack with your full 5-day forecast. Chase?
Thank you very much, Tyler. Our main weather today is also brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, look at those highs for today. Low 40s out there, we can see, so it's definitely still a little bit above average. We see Bar Harbor 42, 41 in Bangor. Cooler temperatures up north, though. Millinock at right around 32 degrees, 30 in Holton, 31 in Presque Isle. But we're actually getting a lot warmer heading into tomorrow. But for lows tonight, we're going to hit that just about an hour after sunset for tonight. Right around 32, 33 degrees is what we're going to be seeing. And then those temperatures are going to continue to rise overnight. And by tomorrow, right around the afternoon, we're going to be right around those low to mid 50s here in town. 49 by Deer Isle, 54 here in town. We're going to have lots of clouds, so we're going to be closer to those low 50s. And then still, those cooler temperatures will stay up north, 46 in Millinock, at 39 in Clayton Lake. All right, so our average this time of year is 34 degrees now. We're going to be well above average going into tomorrow with a high right around 51. We are going to cool off after that, though. Check out Friday into Saturday, highs in the mid-20s. Sunday into Monday, highs in the mid to upper teens. So definitely some Arctic air is going to be making its way in, but we're going to be dealing with some warm weather first and some rain heading into tomorrow morning. So winds out there right now, not too bad, right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Seeing a southwest wind right around 8 here in town, and everybody else seems to be doing just fine. But going into tonight, those winds are really going to pick up, gusting near 25 miles per hour here right around 3 a.m. And once that heavy rain hits right around 6:30 a.m., winds by Bar Harbor gusting near 45 miles per hour and almost near 30 here in town. So those winds will be picking up from the south, but as we continue on throughout the day, we'll have a steady breeze right around 15 to 20 miles per hour. And then by tomorrow night, those winds will be a lot more calm. All right, so out there on the radar right now, we do have some increasing cloud cover, and that is due to that system right now by the Great Lakes making its way over. It's going to be moving east throughout the day, making its way in tonight into tomorrow morning. So what does that look like on the radar for us? So 3 a.m. is when that rain's first going to start trickle in, but it's going to start becoming heavy right around 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, especially by 6:30. That's where we see lots of yellow in here. So definitely some heavy rainfall, definitely going to be stretching from the coast all the way to the northern portion of the state. There's not going to be anybody up north seeing snow. It's all going to be rain with these very warm temperatures. As we continue on, though, looks like it's going to be out of our area by right around 10:30 in the morning. And then throughout the rest of the day, decreasing cloud cover for here in Bangor and the southern portion of the state. Up north, you're still going to have some cloud cover out there for you guys. All right, for tonight, though, low 33 degrees, and the temperatures are going to continue to rise, and we're going to see that rain making its way in late, right around 2-3 a.m., lasting until looks like right around 9:30 in the morning. Winds gusting near 25 miles per hour from the south. For tomorrow, a high of 51 degrees. We're going to have that rain in the morning, but then decreasing clouds in the afternoon with winds gusting near 30 miles per hour, especially during the morning. Taking a look at our extended forecast, we can see partly cloudy and dry for Wednesday. Another chance for some rain and snow in the Thursday, high of 39, and then cooler temperatures in the mid-20s Friday and the Saturday. Beth and Devin?
All righty, Chase, thank you so much. And there is still more to come.
Stay with us.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
Rome wasn't built in a day, but the Garcia's windows and patio doors were. So were the Jacksons and the Smiths. Yours could be next. Call Renewal by Anderson for fast, easy, and precise window replacement. Big savings, too. For a limited time, get these huge savings and special financing. Take the first step. Contact us for the best home improvement experience you'll ever have. Call now for a free consultation or visit us online. Renewal by Anderson.
You come alive in the dead of winter and start work early on snow days, because snowed in is not an option. The Kubota Snow lineup of compact tractors, RTVs, and versatile attachments are built to move, plow, blow, and thrive in the winter. So when the snow falls, you can rise to meet it. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 84 months, plus save up to $300.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
In a small town like this, you got to take care of each other, and that's really what it comes down to. Have a good evening. Mike's & Sons is a business my father started. When Matt and I were buying this store, the credit unions found a way to do it for us.
They don't look at us as a number. Solution out of Mike's & Sons. We want to be able to run our business the way we feel is best for our customers.
We're not in this to make money. We're just trying to help everybody be what they want to be for the future.
If something is even remotely possible, they find a way to get it done. That's why we stick with the credit unions.
At Old Town Redemption Center, we are always ready to help with any fundraisers or bottle drives. We are here to help our community. Like and follow us on Facebook for upcoming weekly holiday giveaways and our monthly $100 drawing.
A woman from Etna has found a way to create local apparel with a vintage twist. Our Jody Hersey shows us.
Hannah Hegarty is an artist of sorts.
This takes 44 seconds.
Hannah opened HH Creations next to Conant's Orchards in Etna less than 2 years ago.
It's definitely my passion. I find it my calling as well.
And now she says she's working 7 days a week to keep up with demand for products since her popular local design went viral.
My grandparents owned an apparel business and had a store, so I'm kind of following in their footsteps, which is really, really cool. They owned the Jackman Trading Post in Jackman.
Hannah's apparel is custom made using sublimation or vinyl.
What is sublimation?
It's ink embedded into the fabric. So I have a special printer for it. It prints on a special paper, and then I heat press it onto the fabric and it absorbs the ink so you can't feel it. It's embedded inside the fabric. And I do that for a lot of sports teams because it has that vintage look that everyone loves.
From hoodies, hats, and t-shirts to sports team apparel, Hannah makes them all. She even got a new set of wheels so she could share her products with more customers.
So I just added on a mobile trailer to HH Creations where I plan to travel with it and do pop-up events.
Taylor Carl of Herman found HH Creations online.
I got a sweatshirt that I had seen Hannah post on her Facebook page that was supporting linemen, and my husband is a lineman for Versant Power, so I kind of wanted my own.
Hannah says nothing compares to working for yourself and doing what you love.
And I wish I did it sooner, but I'm still young and I still have a lot ahead of me, so I'm just going to stick with this.
In Etna, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Finally tonight, the National Park System has a new addition, and it's right here in Maine. Today, President Joe Biden established the Frances Perkins National Monument in Newcastle, Maine. The new national monument is centered around the Perkins family home, also known as the Brick House, which was built in 1837 and was home to the Perkins family for generations. The historic site is surrounded by 57 acres of property along the Damariscotta River. Frances Perkins was the first woman to ever serve in a presidential cabinet. She was appointed by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt to the position of Secretary of Labor. She served from 1933 to 1945.
Well, I think that's a well-deserved monument. You know,
Absolutely.
somebody who was, pivotal in our nation's history and certainly in women's history as well.
Yep.
So I think that's a nice addition to the national park
Just
repertoire.
laid a lot of groundwork for a lot of people down
Yeah.
the road. So just absolutely great to get recognized.
Indeed. Alrighty, well that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7, take care and have a great rest of your night.
And for more of your local news, join us over on Fox 22 News Tonight at 6:30.
Next Jeopardy starts the week off with Kaboom and clues about tunes.
I'm Lin-Manuel Miranda, and I'll have clues about the mystery of songwriting.
Who will sing a winning number? Next Jeopardy.
Only on ABC 7.
Officially,
If I call the landlord, which is a very easy thing to do, is the landlord going to tell me that you've moved property into the apartment?
I have moved some property.
Yeah, and she gets her $550 back. Anything else? Anything else? No. Good. If you had not moved into the apartment, that's one thing. But if you moved into the apartment by moving your property into the apartment and she put up any part of the security, she would be entitled to it back. You didn't get along, it didn't work out, but you're not entitled to live on her security deposit. Do you understand?
As well as she's not entitled to just, I have a proof where she told me she was coming back to Florida to keep the apartment.
Yeah.
She
Judgment
told
on
me,
the counterclaim for $550. We're done.
Excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I feel like if somebody needs to be held responsible for uprooting a mother and her child.
I think she's just disappointed.
I realized what kind of person she can be, and it was very selfish.
A lot of concerns as a single mother that I have to put my daughter in the best situation, and that wasn't it.
I'm okay with it. I'll just move on.
I'm going to do what's best for her every time. That's, the only thing I can do as a parent.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
On Friday, police say a Holden man previously convicted in a hit-and-run drunk driving crash was arrested again, this time for allegedly violating bail conditions.
Multiple law enforcement agencies have expressed frustration over this growing trend of repeat offenders violating bail conditions. Our Grace Blanchard starts us off tonight.
After being arrested on Friday for allegedly operating with a suspended license, 52-year-old David McKenzie has pled not guilty to violating his conditions of release. At the time of his arrest, McKenzie was out on post-conviction bail pending an appeal after being sentenced in October to 15 months for a hit-and-run drunk driving crash that severely injured an elderly man.
It's very frustrating to us when you have somebody that's been convicted, looks like they're supposed to be in jail, and here we are dealing with them again.
According to Holden Police, this is the second individual